Hello everybody and welcome back to Algebra with Mr. Chavez. Today we're going to talk about negative exponents. Whenever you're doing negative exponents, we're always going to do the reciprocal. So let's go ahead and get started so we can learn how to do negative exponents. On the first one, we have x to the power of 3 divided by x to the power of 5. What we're going to do now is use the quotient of a power, which is, if we are dividing like bases, we can subtract the exponent. So x to the power of 3 minus 5, and this is equal to s. 3 minus 5 is negative 2. So x to the power of negative 2. We can't have negative exponents in our final answer. So what we're going to do now is the reciprocal. So this is going to be 1 over x to the power of 2. But let's go ahead and try expanding it. So we have x to the power of 3, so we're multiplying x times x times x over x to the power of 5, which will be x times x times x times x times x. And remember, anything divided by itself is going to be 1. So x divided by x is 1, x divided by x is 1, x divided by x is 1. So we're left over with, on top we have 1, and on the bottom we're multiplying x times x, which would be x squared. So remember, whenever you have a negative exponent, we're always going to try to find the reciprocal. Let's go ahead and try another problem. All right, in this problem, in the numerator, I have 3 times x to the power of negative 5, y to the power of 2 over 5x to the power of 3. Whenever we're doing this, let's go ahead and separate them by like bases. So we have 3 times 5 x to the power of negative 5, x to the power of 3, and then we have y to the power of 2 on top over 1. Now, let's go ahead and simplify it. So we have 3 over 5 times x to the power of negative 5 minus 3, and then we have y squared. Last thing I need to do is my exponents. So we have 3 to the power of 5, x, negative 5 minus 3 will give me negative 8, y to the power of 2. Well, remember, we can't have negative exponents on our final answer. What we're going to do is, for the negative exponent, we're going to do the reciprocal. So it'll be 3 over 5. And remember, x to the power of negative 8, we're going to do the reciprocal. So we're going to move it to the denominator, which will be x to the power of 8. And then we have y squared, and that one stays on my numerator. And this is how you do negative exponents. Let's go ahead and try one more. All right, so let's go ahead and try 32a to the power of 5, b to the power of negative 6, c to the power of negative 8 over 4, a to the power of 3, b to the power of negative 4, and c to the power of negative 8. So remember, when we have a quotient, what we're going to do is separate them by like bases. So we have 32 divided by 4. Then we have my a's, which would be a to the power of 5 over a to the power of 3. B to the power of negative 6 over b to the power of negative 4. And finally, we have c to the power of negative 8 over c to the power of negative 8. Now let's go ahead and simplify it. We have 32 divided by 4 is 8. A to the power of 5 minus 3. B to the power of negative 6 minus negative 4, c to the power of negative 8 minus negative 8. Now, let's go ahead and do the exponents. So we have 8, a to the power of 5 minus 3 is 2, b, negative 6 minus negative 4 minus a negative turns into a positive. So then we have negative 6 plus 4 gives us negative 2. C to the power of negative 8 minus negative 8 minus a negative turns into a positive. So negative 8 plus 8 gives us 0. Now, remember, we have negative exponents. We can't have that. So we're going to have 8 a squared times the reciprocal of b to the power of negative 2 would be 1 over b squared. C to the power of 0 would be 1. Now let's go ahead and simplify this monomial. This is equal to 8 a to the power of 2 over b squared. And this is how you use the negative exponent. If you have any questions, please let me know.